Oh, hey there. Yeah, it's Drew Code Sports Talk, but on YouTube, baby. Yeah. I got my sports bobbleheads in the background in my fantasy football trophy that I won last year. So far, not the reigning champ that I thought I was going to be losing to Cody this week in our ESPN league. So I got to step up to the plate. But nonetheless, we're talking about fantasy football. As on the podcast, we're strictly Raiders, Lakers, Giants. So we kind of wanted to get a little bit talk about fantasy football, where we don't just have to talk about Raiders. So anyway, Cody, who was your winner in fantasy football this week on any of your team?
It's a little tough to say. You know what? I would probably say that Christian McCaffrey for my ESPN league really did me well. And then also Derrick Henry did me really well in my following leagues as well. So I think those are my two winners. And again, I have 3 leagues right now. And those were the winners for me. Their rushing and their passing really helped out a lot. And I secured a victory over you in our ESPN league. Christian McCaffrey helped, and then also the Steelers defense. But for the most part, my running backs are holding it down. So, what about you?
My winner was Josh Jacobs in my ESPN league. Obviously, 3 touchdowns. That helps.
A
He
little
had
bit.
93 yards, so there's 9 points there, plus the 18 points from touchdowns. And then he had 4 catches, which is another 4 points. And then you add on top of that the 40 some odd yards he had in receiving. So Josh Jacobs definitely, I think he ended up being 35 points. Yeah, 35 total points in the scoring system that we have in our ESPN league. So Jacobs, I mean, he had a huge game, and honestly, I expect him to do the same against New Orleans. So,
Very cool.
all right, Cody, who was the player that you literally thought about dropping this week?
Right
in your
now,
fantasy
right
football?
now, I'm debating whether or not I want to put either Le'Veon Bell on the waiver or on the trade block, or Odell Beckham Jr. This is the second year in a row I've drafted both of them.
Mhm.
Le'Veon Bell wasn't that big of a disappointment last year. If anything, I felt like I got good production. He was just on a bad team. This year, he got injured week 1, and his production wasn't even great when he was healthy. Odell Beckham, for some reason, in this supposedly high-powered Browns offense, still cannot get any catches, cannot get any major production. For some reason, ever since him and New York Giants divorced, his production's gone out the door. Like, he's top 2 or 3 receiving talent, but he's producing like fourth string level production right now. So
Baker Mayfield's fault. That's why I don't like him.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's the Browns, man. They're such a cursed
Maybe.
organization. They cannot. They're allergic to talent. Like, you get all these players, and it just doesn't work out. But those are the two I would say is tied right now. I don't know what I want to do with Bell, and I certainly don't know what I want to do with Beckham, especially with the rumor that he's looking to get traded. I don't know what that means. I don't know what team is going after him. So now I'm in limbo, and I think he was like my second wide receiver that I took. So, I put a lot of value in him there. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do to salvage this. So,
Well, I have Le'Veon Bell in the ESPN league, and he's on the IR, and we have IR spots, so I'm just putting him there for now. And I have Odell in another in your league that you have, and yeah, I hope he gets traded, so he'll actually do something. So I'm gonna keep him for a little bit.
yeah,
For me, it was James Conner. That's why
yeah.
I lost to you. I had James Conner. You had the Steelers defense, and Conner gets me 2 points, and he gets injured. And it just seems like it's a reoccurring thing for him. He's constantly getting injured. He's been injured the last couple of years he's been in the league. I own James Conner shares in 3 leagues, which is every single league I have in fantasy football. So he screwed me not once, not twice, but thrice. So he might have to go. So that's kind of my loser. Cody, real quick, we're running out of time. Who is the number one waiver wire pickup for you this week?
So it's tied right now, but if I had to put the edge on it, I'm debating between Robbie Anderson of the Carolina Panthers. I like his connection with Teddy Bridgewater and the production he had. He was, I think, top 10, top 12 in overall receiving points. So I really like that. And then also Sammy Watkins. Sammy Watkins is a lost, forgotten receiver, but he looked very involved in the Chiefs' offense with how high-powered they are. Can't go wrong with potential there. My only concern with that is that he, some games like what you and I had mentioned last year is he'll have, great stats and then he goes quiet for about 6 weeks and then comes out of nowhere. But for me, if I had to put a waiver wire in right now, I'm going with Robbie Anderson. I feel like his connection with Teddy Bridgewater is something I can rely on a little bit more, and he would be my number one waiver selection right now if I had to pick one. Who about you?
Everyone, don't go after Sammy Watkins. He always has a good first week, and he's silent for the next 4 or 5 weeks, and then he'll have kind of a big game, and then he'll go silent again. So don't get Sammy Watkins. He'll just mess with you. My number one pickup is going to be Naheem Hines. He was huge for the Colts, running back for them. Obviously, Marlon Mack getting injured, and he's actually out for the year now. Jonathan Taylor, I love, but they like Hines in the passing game, and Taylor's more of just a old school type running back. So for me, Naheem Hines would be a number one guy I would go off. And honestly, I've seen him available in all 3 leagues that I'm in. So Hines would be a guy I would go after for sure, especially with your Le'Veon Bell situation. That might be something you want to think about.
Well, notable suggestion too would be Marlon Brown. He's available in our Malcolm Brown, excuse me, with the Rams. I have Cam Akers. I like Malcolm Brown because he looked like he was really involved in the Monday night game against the the Sunday night game against the Cowboys. And truthfully, with the way that the Rams are running the ball with more power, he fits that scheme. It seems like a lot better. And if he's available, I would pick him up for like a little plug, and I feel like that the Rams would utilize him enough to where he can get you some good fantasy value. So
excellent. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.